It should be good to go.
All right.
I'll keep an eye on it here at the start of the broadcast because we never know if there's going to be a firewall that knocks us off of a guest network.
Mm-hmm.
Probably should have gone live before this, but
Yeah. But I mean, we're on the football one that they give you, so
that's true.
you would think there would be no.
Yeah, and it's not a student guest where Rockwood puts us, and
Yeah.
they have firewalls all over those.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you call Rockwood Tech people after I set up at a volleyball game
Oh God.
to give them my computer ID so we could unblock this computer alone?
That's nuts. All right, let's go live. Just give me a point.
John is the son of Andrea and Craig Shoemate. After graduation, John will study fitness science at Truman State. John's favorite band memory was watching Tyler Jurgens and Mr. Paget ballroom dance my freshman year. Senior John Shoemate. Our next senior is Natalie Snyder. Natalie is the daughter of Cindy and Drew Snyder. After graduation, Natalie lives in
And welcome into Prepcast, everybody. Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. My name is Tom Hartbeck. I'm alongside James O'Sullivan for this one, and it is your Fort Zumwalt North Panthers. They take on in-district rivals Fort Zumwalt East. North comes into this one undefeated at 6-0, coming off a 56-13 win over Washington at homecoming week. And now they take on East, and they are 1-5, but they are coming off an overtime win over the Zumwalt South Bulldogs last week in dramatic fashion, 20-14. James, it should be a good one, but right now we're looking at a very experienced North team and a not-so-experienced East team.
That is correct. East has only got 3 seniors, as we found out during their senior night ceremonies, that are still going on as they're introducing all the band and cheerleaders as well. So a very young team, but it's going to look bright in years to come. And, I mean, it's just getting better as the team goes on. That win last week could really propel them here late in the season.
Yeah, and that's a kind of a bright spot because everybody makes the playoffs. You know, you might have a chance once you get towards into Class 5. You beat a Class 5 team and a Class 4 team now is East, but as the season rolls on for North, you got Zumwalt East, then Timberland, then House Central. And East it'll be a very similar team to North while we watch this game because the leading rushers are both the quarterbacks. You know, and I think that's kind of how the game's going to go. For more on how this game's going to go, I did sit down with Coach Joe Bacon on Wednesday and got a little bit of insight. Didn't see this last week on YouTube. Hopefully it got on this week. So take a look, and we'll be back in a few minutes. You are watching and listening the Panther Broadcasting Network, powered by Prepcast. Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. Past Washington, and now we're headed into Fort Zumwalt East. Tom Hartbeck sitting down with Coach Joe Bacon. Coach, kind of rolling along. How do you go from week to week and make the kids buy into, okay, we got to forget about it and just keep moving on?
Well, it's hard.
Yeah.
You start getting success, and it makes it more exciting to kind of practice, but also you can get a little bit complacent. So every year that we've been successful, we've kind of had to fight that. And we had some extra stuff after practice yesterday, I think helped get their attention focused back to where it should be. So for the most part, they've done a pretty good job themselves of keeping us on point.
You guys are starting to have some large margins of victory. It doesn't really matter, but how do you keep it in their heads of, hey, doesn't matter what the score is, keep playing?
Well, our goal, right, it's not about what's on the scoreboard. It's about playing as close to perfect as possible. And if we want to be great, it's not, hey, we play well when we're winning or when we're behind we have to catch up. Like, it's about doing things the best way possible all the time, regardless of the score or record or any of those things. And so you got to fight against that because naturally you kind of want to coast a little bit when it seems like you have an easier patch. But we've done a pretty good job, I think, so far of staying focused.
I've noticed in front of the locker room door there's a whiteboard that kind of has some key points for the next opponent. When do those change, and what might that say for Zumwalt East?
Well, it changes every week. I update that on Fridays, just kind of the things that we got focused on that Friday night in the game. And this week it's going to be about trying to pursue being a great football team. And again, not just for a quarter or a half or some plays, but like across the board, all 3 phases of the game. being that team that we feel like we're capable of being.
You said before you can't play the same you did in week 1, week 4 than we are at the end of the season. We're getting to the end of the regular season now. Are you starting to see it change a bit?
We're getting better. We're a little bit more focused. We're a little bit more on top of our assignments. But yeah, the race is on, and we talked about that yesterday. It's like no matter how long our season is, the end's going to get here way too soon. And if we wait to try to become great till after week 10, there's a good chance it'll probably be too late. So we got to make sure we're making good progress on that now.
And last thing, the last 2 games in your guys' schedule is Timberland and then House Central. Those are obviously Class 6 teams. They're going to be big. They're going to be up against pretty good competition in Class 6. Do you like how that bodes for you guys heading into postseason?
Yeah, it's definitely good to get pushed during the regular season. And Timberland, I mean, they beat us last year, and we beat East, but it was a struggle last year. So those are 2 teams that, we were probably favored to beat last year, but one we barely did and one we didn't even beat. So they should push us pretty well, and that's good for us because if you don't play hard teams until you get to the playoffs, and that's the first time you're experiencing, maybe you're able to play well enough against it, but it sure helps to have experience with that before you get there.
Well, we're headed into Zumwalt East and into the home stretch. So keep it right here. Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. We'll see you next week. Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast.
Looking to get that extra 10%? Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific, one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Vandalia Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542
Welcome back to the Panther Broadcasting Network, powered by Prepcast. My name's Tom Hartbeck. Once again, I am alongside James O'Sullivan, and our cameraman today is Gavin Anderson. It is the Vandalia Bus Lines pregame show. We're getting set to wrap that up, and we're going to wrap that up kind of with the Athletic Republic keys to the game, and really the only key is keep the momentum going. 6-0 for Zumwalt North, coming off a 56-13 win over Washington, in which they started with a kickoff return back for a TD. Quite the season so far for North. Parker Monning stands at 17 sacks on the year. The state record is 20 in 9 games. In an entire campaign, it is 23. We'll keep an eye on that. And honestly, just keep it up because Isaiah Hartrip, Cairo Payne, Tyler Oakes, Tim Neslich to an extent. You got Jack Newcomb. They're all kind of rolling on all cylinders. The only question for tonight will be Chris Futrell, whether he is going to be set to go tonight or not. He was in uniform to start the game in warm-ups, so we're hopeful for that. But we're getting set for coin toss, and it should be a good one here.
Yeah, and if you want to go on to the east side with the key to the game, it would be kind of you can go off and keep the momentum going from their overtime win last week as well. And for East, you got to stop the run as much as possible. This is a North team that averages 8 yards per carry, and is going to be a run heavy. You just got to force them into the second and third and longs.
Yeah, and that's what you're really going to have to do and beat their big offensive line. But on the tackle side of things, Gavin Stricker and Adam Lewis, Jalen Owens, who rotates in with Adam a lot, they're really going to cause trouble and keep that pocket pretty compact for Cairo Payne. But even if that happens, Cairo Payne's going to get to the outside or hand it off to Isaiah or Tyler, somebody like that, and you're going to have your hands full. So those are the Athletic Republic keys to the game. We are getting set for the arrival of the East Lions. North will be in their customary all white with green trim and the white helmets with the Z's and the cat paws. And Zumwalt East in the unique uniforms, all black with the fluorescent gold numbers. If you are of a Lindenwood persuasion, you would have seen these a few years ago. And it is a pretty nice night, albeit pretty cold. It's 46 right now, and we're only a few minutes away from kickoff. And it's going to get colder and colder from here. And that might be another final key to the game, how you're going to manage the cold.
That could be, because this is the first time they have had to manage in something lower than, 55 probably?
Yeah, really.
You would think it wouldn't be much of a factor. I mean, you just got to kind of keep moving on the sideline and stay as warm as possible right now. I mean, you're gonna play colder nights as you get later in this season into district and state playoff play. So kind of a good warm-up for them if you want to go that way. I mean, kind of weird to say warm-up when you're talking about the cold, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's really going to be I think that's a good way to put it. It's a warm-up for the state playoffs, really. And your district is South, Smith Cotton, and Battle, and then you. So it's going to be a nice warm-up. That's a great term to use, honestly, James. But those are the Athletic Republic keys to the game. Keep your momentum going on either side if you're north or east. Manage the run on both sides if you're north or east. And how you're going to manage the cold. But very, very nice uniforms do the East Lions have, with chromed gold tops, chrome E's on the dome, and then North in their customary whites with the north side pants. And we are 3 minutes away from kickoff exactly. That about does it for the Vandalia Bus Lines pregame show. Next thing we got coming up, it's kickoff on Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast.com.
Looking to get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Vandalia Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542
And on this cold night, it might not be a bad thing to start thinking about Spring Break 2020. If you're thinking about that, why don't you look up Funjet and 5-Star Travel and Cruises? It's your spring break vacation headquarters. They've been serving the St. Louis metro area for the last 20 years. Funjet and 5-Star Travel has group space on nonstop flights from St. Louis to Cancun and Punta Cana. And they have special negotiated group prices on on-air and land packages staying at Now Jade, Now Nuterra, and Now Onyx, just to name a few. The special group prices include the nonstop flights, airport transfers, 4 or 5 night all-inclusive resort stays, tax and travel insurance. Funjet and 5-Star Travel and Cruises gives the 5-star service and even meets and greets their clients at the departure gate at the St. Louis airport. Call the experts at Funjet and 5-Star Travel today at 636-978-5510 to book your spring break vacation. Don't delay. Call today, 636-978-5510. Only takes $200 to hold your spot.
And other than Funjet, all year long, North football is brought to you by Bleachers. Get out there off of Highway Pete for homemade pizzas, 7 homemade wings and sauces. And might I say, those 2 items in particular, very good. And thank you for the spread a few weeks ago. Bleachers, again, go out there off of Highway P. The kitchen is open late after Panther home games. But hopefully if the Panthers can get to a running clock, you might have time to get out there before 10 o'clock tonight. And it is... I think we might be looking at that again this week, James.
You could, but you don't want to actually think that going in.
No, exactly,
Because you definitely cannot overlook your opponent, because that's when it ends up being a 2-point game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and sometimes that's happened. I mean, the first 2 weeks of the season were relatively close with Francis Howell and then Zumwalt West. But then since then, North has kind of rolled, and they've kind of shook their demons from the beginning of the year and have really settled in on the offensive side of things. Looks like North will receive to start the game. Offensive starters are the same, except for Chris Futrell, who we have not seen on the sideline yet.
I think I see him right there, but kind of still talking to some of the trainers, so it kind of could be a limited time for him.
Yeah, so we'll see if Cam Stainer or Parker Monning even will go both ways. And North will receive. They will be going left to right, and East will go right to left. East in black with, well, I'm going to say chrome gold numbers, and North in white with green. To kick for East is number 11, Austin Kuhlenberg. Back deep is Cairo Payne and Tyler Oakes. And it is a low line drive kick that is fallen on. And very good field position to start for North.
Yeah, nice job. You just got to fall on that right away. Don't try and pick it up and do anything with it.
Yeah, so a short field to start. Cam Stainer with nice hands shown there on the kickoff team.
Yeah, that could be the respect that you get after running the opening kickoff last week back for a touchdown. Is they don't want to give you the opportunity to give you the short field. Then you run it back on them.
So 2 wide receivers each side for Cairo Payne, and Chris Futrell is out there. Man in motion is Isaiah Hartrip. It's a handoff to Hartrip around the outside, cuts to the inside of the field, has some room, gets a block, gets around the outside, and he's down the sideline, stays in bounds, and he gets pushed out right around the 20.
Yeah, great run there by Hartrip. He head to the outside, cut back in a few times, as you said. Great blocking downfield and able to stay in bounds and a nice long run on this first play of the game.
Isaiah Hartrip, commit to SIUC. He'll be a Saluki next fall. It's been a few commits so far. Cairo Payne has a few offers on the table. Missouri State, one of them. And the newest one, Drake, Tim Neslidge, the wide receiver. Same formation for Cairo Payne. It's Tyler Oakes in motion. Handoff up the middle to Chris Futrell, and he rumbles forward for a few yards. Give him maybe 5.
Yeah, nice run on that one. Just go up the middle, keep those legs moving.
Yeah, Futrell is really a downhill runner. He's kind of a power back. Doesn't really fit the scheme of North all that well, but when he does get the ball, he runs pretty well. And now we got Monning coming into the game at tailback, normally on defense. Man in motion, Oakes. It is a keeper for Payne to the inside, rumbles forward, drags, and gets down to the 10. So Parker Monning coming in at running back tonight.
Yeah, I think it was Monning there on that first carry they had when they got down inside the 20.
Monning has a little bit of time at running back this year, but normally when they are up big. Otherwise, he's on defense. Same formation again. 1st and 10 from the 10 with 10:22 remaining here in the first. Man in motion, Hartrip. Around the outside, Hartrip bounces off tackles, now goes to the inside and tries to get back to the line of scrimmage. He does after a push. And maybe give him 3 or 4.
Yeah, nice job there by the East defense. They forced him to the outside where a lot of other guys were, and not much that our trip could do on that one.
9:55 to go. 2nd down. We'll see if Coach Joe Bacon draws up a little bit of a different scheme or keeps it going. It is the same formation from top to bottom is Jack Newcomb, Isaiah Hartrip, Oakes, and then Neslidge on the near side. Man in motion's Oakes to the far side. Handoff to him around the outside. Tries to cut the corner. Cuts to daylight to the pylon. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, Tyler Oakes. and North draws first blood in less than 10 plays.
That 9-yard run there by Oaks. Just sweep it to the other side. They've come to this near side quite often, so going to that far side there for the first time tonight and good blocking there on the edge yet again.
And Tyler Oaks has slowly kind of creeped into this offense. He didn't have too much to do with it. He was just kind of the backup slot man. He would be in on most plays, but wasn't getting his number called a whole lot. And North will go for 2. With 2 wide receivers on the far side. Man in motion, Tyler Oaks. Keeper by Payne. Up the middle, dives, and he's in. So uncharacteristically, automatically going for 2 makes it 8-0. I don't want to say Coach Dwaken wants to get out of here early tonight, but that's kind of the early indication.
That very well could be, or maybe is there something we don't know about the kicking game tonight?
Owen Sears is normally the kicker, has been pretty solid all year. It's a little surprising to see them go for 2 at all. So maybe something will unfold as the game goes on. I'll have quarters 1 and 4 for you as normal, and James will have 2 and 3. Gavin's sticking it out on camera tonight. Almost had to call the game with him. We want to send a big shout out to our normal number 2 man, Mike Wagon Connect. He is laid up over at Progress West right now. Get well soon, buddy. Had a good call last week. And I woke up at 4:30 in the morning and I saw a text from him and I said, "What?" And then I kind of forgot about it and then woke up at 8:30 and I panicked a little bit. So thank you, James, for filling in. Thank you, Mike, for making us aware.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get a Friday night off for the first time in like 5 years, but I guess not.
Yeah. And get well soon, Mike.
Had some type of penalty flag there on that 2-point conversion, and it's going to be assessed on this kickoff.
And it is Owen Sears to kick. No, it is Jonah Page to kick. And it is a low line drive kick that goes down to about the 30, and they fall on it, but it was touched, and there's a scrum for the ball. And they're going to say East fell on it first.
Yeah, they did, but they tried to pick it up and run with it, as you saw with North, as they just fell on it right away and took the field position.
So they're going to set up from around the 35. Officially 37-yard line. 8-0 North here early. And it is a 3 running back backfield. That is a wishbone formation. And the quarterback, Austin Linneman, 5'10", 165, class of 2021. Hands off to Joshua Johnson, 5'6", 145, class of 2021 as well. So they're coming out running the flex bone almost.
Yeah, and I mean, you're probably going to say a lot of the 2021, when you say the years, as we've mentioned during that Vandalia Bustlines pregame show, it's a very young team.
1 wide receiver out to the right side. Hand off to Johnson up the middle. Fumble. Who got it? Did Linneman fall back on it?
I believe he did. They just didn't get it into the gut there of Johnson and ended up falling on the ground. Nice job by Linneman to figure it out and jump back on top of it.
And that'll quickly bring up a 3rd and about 13. 3rd and 15. I'm always bad at math. So they pinch on the line. They show flexbone again. It's a pitch out to Johnson. He runs into the host of the defense.
And again, that North defense winning that line of scrimmage, not much that Johnson can do on that.
Yeah, when you're running the Navy offense like that, you know, the flexbone, wishbone type things, wing formation, it gets pretty tough. Who was the school you said exclusively runs that?
MICDS runs a true triple option there. Not easy to figure out who has the ball.
No, Absolutely not. Low snap. Do they block it? Yes, they do. Who touched it? Didn't see who exactly had it. But that almost turns into a first down for
I think
Zumwalt.
Mahoney might have been the one to get his hands on
Yeah,
that.
I think you're right, because Mahoney was playing in on the line. He got his hand in, and it bounced just short of being a recovered block punt.
Yeah, not much the punter can do there. I mean, the skip
No.
back to him, he did what he could to pick it up and make a play. Tough to do it because once you have to lean down and pick it up like that, it just gives you those guys a couple extra seconds to get close to you.
So once again, a short field for North. Man in motion, Tyler Oakes moves to the near side to make 2 on each side. Back to pass, Payne throws out into the flat, and it goes off of Hartrup's hands uncharacteristically while he was wide open.
That's a tough throw. It's a very long throw in the high school game with those wide hash marks. I think it's high for Hartrup. Got his hands on it, tried to juggle it to himself, but falls incomplete.
2nd and 10, ball officially on the 43-yard line. Tim Neslage, offered by Drake recently, then Tyler Oakes. Then you got Hartrup and Newcomb on the far side. Monning still in at running back. Handoff up the middle. Now pitched out to Oakes. He has some room into the secondary, and he is gone for the touchdown. Tyler Oakes on the option play. 14-0.
43 yards out. Oak's second touchdown of the game. Give him 6 now on the season.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started watching this North team at the beginning of the year, I said, why aren't they going to Tyler Oakes more often? Well, they kept him in the pocket for the first 2 games, and then ever since the Parkway Central game, he has been an integral part of this Panther offense.
He came in with 199 yards rushing, so close to, probably over 250 now, definitely over 250, that 43 yards and a 9-yard run. He'll be at 300 plus after this first half if he keeps going at this pace.
So again, they will go for 2. Cairo Payne keeps it, gets around, cuts to the far side of the field, and shimmies across the goal line, and it's 16-0 early and quickly here in the first quarter.
Nice job by Payne, individual effort there, just juking around everybody and getting himself that second 2-point conversion for him here in this first 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, it does not seem like Owen Sears is playing tonight since Jonah Page was doing the kickoff duties. We'll see if that changes. I do not see a 49, though, on the sideline. Chris Futrell is in uniform, just so everybody knows. See him right there down on the sideline.
But he is walking towards the back of everybody, so
Might be down there for moral support.
and maybe it was your get fully dressed in uniform, go through warm-ups, and see how it felt.
Yeah. So Jonah Page to kick. He's going to kick off from the 40. They're ready. Low line driver bouncing. And East's going to take it up the far side of the field into the scrum. And they almost get out of it. And it gets all the way down to the Lion 45.
And then again, I mean, Stepney with that return that time, but going down to pick it up, kind of bobbled it there for a quick second as he tried to pick it up off the turf. But once he picked it up, he kind of carried that North special teams for about 10 yards.
Yeah, he did.
And nice run back. Good field position here for the East Lions.
And they'll start at the 45. 16-0 North here early with still 7 minutes to go in the first. Quarterback Tyler Lindemann, 5'10", 165. Flips it out to Johnson. He cuts to the outside, has some room, and he's pushed out maybe after a 7-yard gain.
He was just about ready to get up to full speed. If he had more room on that side, he might still be going.
Yeah, Joshua Johnson, 5'6", 145. Not much of an imposing figure, but does have some thick legs on him, and he can run downhill. The backs are Nick Stepney, then Josh Hopkins. And it is a handoff to Stepney this time, and he's met in the middle.
Yeah, it's going to force them into third down, see if they might go to the air. But if you're going to keep on the ground, you might want to kind of go out to the side, again, get out on the edge, because that's where they got their most gains on the yard. That first play of this drive was out on the edge. Everything else, they've gone up the middle, and it's been about a yard or two.
Well, let's see how North sets up on defense. Parker Mining on the far side of the field tonight. And again, East coming out in the flex bone. Ball on the ground. Fumble Ruski type play, if indeed that's what it was. But it looks like it's going to be 4th and short.
I'm not sure if that's quite what it was. I think you just ended up dropping that on the snap, and they just had to pick it up and go forward as far as possible.
Yeah, they're officially going to give it 4th and 1. They will not punt.
It's a long one, closer to 2.
Yeah, that is a long one. Again, up the middle. Here comes the push, and that's a first down. Oh, and he gets away. Somehow he gets away and tackled from behind.
Well, I think he might have gotten away. He might have lost a shoe. So there was a shoe out there on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, there is. And tackled from behind by Isaiah Hartrop on a touchdown-saving tackle. How in the world did he get through that?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he quite knows how he got through that. But when you keep the legs moving, you just kind of keep going, wait for the whistle. If no whistle comes, they maybe North gave up thinking there was a whistle coming here as he's in the grasp of everybody, but just didn't happen. Nice job by Hartrop to run him down.
So 1st and 6. Another play, same type of thing. East trying to fall forward, and they just break the plane. 16-6 on one of the most crazy drives North has seen all season, and they haven't scored or let us score come across them much.
So I believe that was quarterback Linneman that kept that one, just went forward. He did a nice job on this drive. It's about 2 or 3 times he just took it and went forward himself.
And they've only given up 57 points all year, and that's only in 3 games. They've got 2 7-point let-ups and then a shutout, 63-0 on South. They will go for 2. Letterman is lit up by the entire defense.
It's almost something that they might have to do when they get in the end zone in this game, is they have to go for 2, because it obviously looks like North is going to go for 2 this whole time. So to keep up with them, you have to go for 2 yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the fact of life in high school football. Sometimes you have a kicker, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can go raid the soccer team for one, but not all the time.
You don't really see them going after soccer players and much at the higher Class 5 schools like
you don't.
Have.
Really.
It's more those Class 3 and lowers when you will get those couple soccer players that end up being a punter and kicker.
As we said, if you're just joining us, just past 7 o'clock, my name's Tom Hartbeck alongside James O'Sullivan and our cameraman Gavin Anderson. 16-6, North leading this one with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. The first 2 drives for North kind of have come with ease. Touchdowns by Tyler Oakes. And I have not seen the score of the Cardinals game. I don't know if I want to look. Won't spoil it for anybody. Kick is another low-line drive. Decent one, but Isaiah Hartrop grabs it. He's going to go to the near side of the field, get around 1, get around 2. Going through traffic, spins away, and he's taken down just past the 30-yard line, and he was pushed back. We'll see if they give him forward progress.
Hartrop ran back a long ways just to recover that football himself and then ran back up with it. The worst starting field position.
Yeah, they're actually in their own territory for once. 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Ball officially on the North 28. Four wide receivers again in the shotgun, Cairo Payne. Man in motion, Oaks. Back to pass, Payne looking, steps up in the pocket, throws, floats it towards Neslage. It is caught, and that is actually Hartrip who comes from the far side. Isaiah Hartrip.
Yeah, Hartrip had a step on his man. Might have had to wait just a split second to catch that one, but able to haul it down, and now they're right back to where they have been most of this game, and that's in East territory.
You know, it's kind of playing a trick on me because we're flipped tonight, and we are on the away side of the bleachers. Normally, coming from that position is Tim Neslage, but it's Isaiah Hartrip that time. Four wideouts again. Oaks in motion, goes to the far side of the field. Quarterback keeper, Cairo Payne, around to the outside. Is he going to be touched? Well, no, he's not. Touchdown, Cairo Payne.
35 yards out there for Payne. It's his first touchdown. Had 2-point conversions in this one. But we mentioned leading rusher coming in. That's his 11th rushing touchdown of the season for the North quarterback.
22-6, and we're thinking they're going to go for two. Decent crowd tonight on both sides. North bringing a very good student section as well. So Parker Monning comes in at fullback. Back to pass, Payne. Looks to keep it, and he is going to be stopped this time. 22-6 is what the score will stay.
Kind of looked like he wanted to throw at that time, but quickly pulled it down and looked to run. Don't know if maybe that was actually the design play to get some of that defensive line to look otherwise and sneak its way in.
Well, a lot of times, Payne will roll out with the intention to throw, and we'll just tuck it. You know, because I think tucking it is his first instinct. Because, I mean, he is an athlete. But throwing the ball to Cairo, I mean, it comes easy to him. He certainly has a adequate arm for the offense. But tuck it and run, that's his go-to. Unless he's really rolling out and it's a design play like we've seen with Tyler Oaks a few times, fading to the outside on a flag route. Or Tim Neslage, who goes right to the post. And like Isaiah Hartrip did on the previous drive. 22-6. Big runs by Cairo Payne and two other by Tyler Oaks after the missed 2-point conversion. Jonah Page again. Got a little more air on this one. They kick it to the near side. Monning tries to get in there, and I think the last man in to get the tackle was Jalen Owens on their own 38.
Really been about the same spot East has been for most of their drives. This is their third drive already in this one. Still got 4:15 left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's been kind of back and forth. Quick drives on one end and quick scores on the other. That's more wishbone than flexbone. Flipped out to Johnson. He's going nowhere.
Again, trying to get to the edge. We saw that work last drive for him. Got about 5 or 6 yards when they were able to get to the edge, but everything else has been locked up.
And that's kind of really been, that's a good way to put it, locked up, because the way North runs their defense, they take the outside linebackers and they pinch them in basically essentially on the line, and then they either bubble out or they blitz in. Like right now, Tim Neslage and Parker Monning pinched in. Hand off to the inside. Still nothing going for the East Lions.
And really not much to go. He just kind of ran up until he hit North Panther there. Picked up a couple yards.
And I think it's going to be kind of one of those games where the way East will play, it's going to be dink and dunk football. The way North will want to play, it's going to be big play football. You know, something like that. But 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Pitching on either side of the linebackers. It is a option out to the running back. Now they're going to throw it, and it is almost picked off.
Trying to use some trickery there, just the halfback option, throwing it downfield, but not the strongest throw, and North was all over that one.
Yeah, not bad. So again, 4th and 7. Back to punt. They get it off this time. Decent punt. Takes an east bounce and goes out around the 30.
And not a bad idea. Just kind of keep it away from Nestledge there. Don't want him to get his hands on it. We saw him when he went back and fielded the last kickoff, what he can do.
And North will come back out for the offense. See if they can make it 4 scores in a row. Hartrip, the man in motion, goes to the near side. Rolling is Payne. He's going to tuck this one and run. Gets a nice block by Monning, and he makes something out of nothing, but there goes the flag.
You see that a lot once he gets outside the pocket and looks to run. Those guys just start holding to keep them where they're at. Would have been a
decent run.
Decent run.
Yeah.
Also, outside the pocket, could have just seen him just throw that away and live it because he almost lost 3 or 4 on that play as well. Not sure what that signal actually was.
Unsportsman. Looks like it was unsportsmanlike because they're going way back. First down and 23 from the 24-yard line. Trips to the far side for Cairo Payne and one near. The near is Tim Nestledge. Back to pass is Payne.
That hit the ground.
Yeah, it did. Looks like Newcomb tried his best to sell it, but
well, the whistle didn't really go until he picked it up and ran 3 yards, so
yeah, that's
might
true.
as well just keep running. Eventually they'll tell you to turn around.
Monning's still in at running back. Nestledge, Oaks, Hartrip, and Newcomb. The normal receiving core out there for North. Parker Monning in at running back. Man in motion is Tyler Oaks. Back to pass is Payne. Payne looks, moves up in the pocket, avoids the sack. He's going to tuck this one and run. Gets a block, tries to hurdle around, stays on his feet, still in, and gets about 3 or 4, I would think, maybe 5 or 6.
You see the athleticism there by Payne is that pocket broke down on him quickly, that he had to tuck it and run that time, and just to kind of keep bouncing it to the outside, keeps going in and out, and kind of spins and hurdles the guy at the same time.
3rd and 15. Three wide receivers, back to pass. Payne looking, throwing. This one is underthrown. He was looking for Isaiah Hartrip deep that time, but it was thrown into triple coverage.
Oxford in on that coverage. I believe Johnston was kind of in on that as well, trying to come over and make that play on the ball, and just kind of went through everybody's hands. Went through about 8 hands on that play to hit the ground.
So North will punt this time after a penalty kind of shoots them in the foot.
I mean, it was a great defensive drive there because even the play where the penalty was called, it was only a couple yards that they gained anyway.
They get the punt off. It is Isaiah Hartrip, and it is a good one. Takes a north bounce, rolls inside the 20 to the 15, and inside the 15 it will be down, and that's where East will take over with 1:58 to go here in the first.
Got about a 13-yard bounce on that one off that punt by Hartrip, and it was a nice punt before it even hit the ground. A lot of airtime on that one.
Yeah, Hartrip, the consummate athlete on this team. Hartrip and then Payne is the two main producers on the team. Then you have Oaks and then Neslage. And then Monning on the defensive side of things. One back in the backfield this time. Quarterback keeper right up the middle. Stopped before anyone can get anywhere by about 5 or 6 Panthers again.
That group tackling up the middle, and with how you said, there's a lot of guys in the box. They just all swarm towards that football.
Linneman at 5'10", probably a running quarterback, like we said.
Leading rusher for the team coming into this one, as both quarterbacks are.
And it's going to be a pitch out to Johnson to the far side. He gets around, has some room. He gone.
Maybe.
It's a foot race, maybe. Here comes Hartrip, but I don't think no one's going to get there. 75 yards. Where's the flag? I don't see any.
That's longer than, that's about 83 or something on that.
No flags and a big run by Joshua Johnson, 5'6", 145, and he got away and got away quick. 22-12.
1 minute exactly left on it as Johnston, more of a threat in the air than what he has been on the ground.
And North will block that kick. First man in on it looked to be Jack Newcomb. (22-12) is the score with 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. It's kind of been a ho-hum one a little bit, other than the scores, because it's been kind of like on one play.
And there has been a lot of the quick scoring plays. We've seen 2 punts in this one, but the punts have been off of 3 and outs.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not even getting this 7-play drives where you just get it in just into the offensive territory and then your drive stalls. That feels like a very quick quarter.
Yeah, it does. Because the time just keeps going.
Yeah, when the ball stays on the ground, I think we've had about 3 passes attempted in this game, or maybe 4. Yeah, has not been many, and these teams just kind of want to keep getting back under center and snap the football again.
So back deep is Cam Stainer. Then you got Hartrip. And then to the extreme far side is Rob Rezix. Oaks back there as well.
Surprised they don't have more guys kind of up near that kind of 30-35, because that's where some of these have kind of been stopping or at least hitting the ground.
They get it off. Now picked up. Up the middle. And tackle before they can get much of anything, but There is a East player down and having a hard time getting up. Out comes the, looks like Stepney, but out comes the trainer. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Dahlia Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4.
And we're back. 22-12 is the score. North is going to take over at the 28. Now they set up with two wide receivers to the far side and one to the near. The near wide receiver is Tyler Oakes. Man in motion, Hartrip. Hand off Hartrip. He's going to cut up the middle. Cuts to Daylight. Cuts around. And Oakes cannot hold his block. And he'll get about 5 or 6.
Yeah, Hartrip kind of had the edge, and then that got taken away from him. Did his best to get as much as he could on that one.
So under a minute, and the clock is running down.
Play and game clock at the same time. If anything, it's like a half-second difference.
I wonder if North will run a play. 2019. Yeah, I think they're going to have to run one.
It's too close to not run it because you don't want to take the 5 yard just because you thought it was safe to not.
Shovel pass. This has normally worked for North. They get the first down to stop the clock, and they'll have to run one more play.
The clock should start once they get these chains set. So it should be good. Haven't seen that one yet tonight, so a little different, and I caught them a little bit off guard.
Clock runs, and that is going to be the end of one. 1st and 10 from the 42 when we come back. 22-12 is how the first quarter ends. James will have quarter 2 and 3. I'll be back for quarter 4. Panthers up 22-12. You are watching the Panther Broadcasting Network powered by Prepcast.
Looking to get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
And are you ready for Spring Break 2020? If you haven't got those plans, why don't you give it a call at FunJet and 5-Star Travel. It's your spring break vacation headquarters. They've been serving the St. Louis area for the last 20 years. No other travel agency in the area has more experience than FunJet and 5-Star Travel and Cruises when it comes to planning the spring break vacations. They have the best prices and the most popular destinations and resorts that the parents and students prefer. The special group prices, nonstop flights, 4 or 5-night all-inclusive stays, tax and travel insurance. The number is 636-978-5510. Again, that's FunJet and 5-Star Travel. Go to prepcast.com. You see the logo right there. Click on that. It goes to the website. Everything you need to know about FunJet and 5-Star Travel and your Spring Break 2020 options. North has the football here. 1st and 10 at the 42 as we start play here in the second quarter. Oakes is the man in motion. They hand this off to Monning, and he goes down right away in the backfield, lost a yard.
Yeah, Monning normally not a running back. Normally he comes in to be the blocker if they need a really tough block and they're going to run 2 running backs. Then normally it's Futrell and then Monning on the other side if he plays running back at all. But Futrell kind of out of commission tonight.
He is in uniform. We have not seen him on the field yet. So Monning stays in the backfield. Again, Oakes comes in motion. They fake the handoff. Payne looks to the air, throws it towards his receiver, and he's got him. That is Hartrip with that catch and another first down for North.
And that's the athletic ability of Cairo Payne. He can run, but he can also throw, and it's those kind of 20-yard passes that make him really deadly. So once they get around the 25, you're going to see him floated towards the end zone, maybe even the 30-yard line. The North is not afraid to air it out.
Newcomb Hartrip on this near side. Hartrip's the one in the slot. Again, Oaks on the far side. And now Hartrip goes in motion. Payne will look in the air. Now he'll pull it down and run, go straight up the gut. He's got a first down, jukes around one man, going out towards the outside. He's inside the 20, and he'll go down there.
And nice run. That's his bread and butter all year. That's why he's the leading rusher on the team.
Looks like they will place it at about the 13 or so. 1st and 10 for North. They get these chains set very quickly, and that ref runs the clock. I think he wants to get inside and get some warmth during halftime or at least keep this game moving.
Oh, yeah. Not surprised by that at all.
Hartrip again goes in motion. They hand it off to him, goes up the middle, dances around, and he's going to scamper into the end zone. Touchdown, Hartrip.
And it's those quick scores that are the bread and butter for North. 28-12.
From 13 yards out early here, 10-16 left in the second quarter. And they will look to kick it this time. First time we've seen this evening.
And I'm trying to see what the number. It is Owen Sears this time.
Sears' kick is up and good, as it is now 29-12. Panthers with the lead.
And it was a good, I think the thought going for two, now that Now that Sears is in the game, I think the initial thought was, let's try and get up by 35 early, But they still certainly could do that here in the second quarter. With 10 minutes left, they're probably going to get three possessions.
With how quick these possessions are going, it could easily get 2 or 3 more scores for each side. As Sears gets last-minute instruction, he heads out there for the kickoff. 2 men back deep. Johnson here on the near side.
So this time, Sears is going to take this one deep.
As he does, it will be fielded at the 8. Johnson going up the middle. Gets past the first part of block because he only got 2 men to beat. Sears cannot get him down. He's into North territory. Johnson on the far sideline. He'll get spun down. And a great run back there for the East Lions.
And that was Cam Stainer, I believe, on the tackle. Looked like 28 when I looked at it. Touchdown saving tackle.
I think they actually saying in the press box it might have been Tim Franklin there on that run back. 5 and 6. Easy mix-up. Johnson in the backfield here. As I hand it off to the second back and goes forward for about 2. I think that handoff went to Elijah Johnson on that one.
Yeah, Johnson's been doing most of the running tonight. He's the tailback. Then you have, right now, Elijah Johnson. Well, there's two Johnsons. Elijah Johnson and then Joshua Johnson. And then Lindman.
Johnston, the deep one. Johnson in front of him. It's going to be flipped to Johnston, and he goes there for a couple yards again.
Johnson flipped to Johnson, flipped to Johnson. Oh, isn't that tough?
Oh, don't you love it, though?
Yeah, I know.
Got to make sure, though, Joshua, you get the 10 in there as it's Johnston.
Yeah, it is. It's Johnston and then
Johnson.
yeah, Johnston and then Johnson. So if you are watching the game, and we do call that again, use your ears.
Stepney also in there. He'll be the first back. Then it's Johnson. Then it's Johnston. Lindemann under center. And they will give it to Johnston, trying to bounce it onto the outside, and he gets wrapped up right away. There was nowhere for him to go.
And that's the linebackers' jobs. Pinch in on that play. And then the line just shifts over. This defensive line for North, we were kind of worried it was going to be suspect at the beginning of the year, but they've kind of shored everything up.
27 sacks so far this season. Obviously, 17 by one man helps those stats out. 7:50 left here in the second quarter, rather. And the timeout is called. It will be called by Zumwalt North. Clock at 7:47 on the clock at 29-12. Panther lead as they have scored all but one possession so far. The scoring plays at 9 yards to Oaks, 43 yards for Oaks, 35 for Payne, and then 13 for Hartrip. All of them have been of the running variety.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of running tonight. And I think we might even be in store for a quick game. It's 7:47 and we're only, 7 minutes away from halftime.
Yeah, it's 7:47 here in Mid-Missouri, and that's exactly what we have on the first half clock.
That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Yeah, you're right.
What are the odds? You look at it, and it's right there.
What are the odds of that? I don't think that.
As we thank Zumwalt North for taking that time out, and it would provide us with that unique intel of this game.
Yeah, that cosmic experience. Is the moon different tonight? Not really.
Nice shot of the moon right in front of us.
Yeah, it is.
As going from the shotgun here, Lindemann looks to the air. He will throw it over the middle and just too far out of the reach of, I believe that was Elijah Johnson.
Yeah, he was wide open, too, like he had beaten his man.
It will bring up. Actually, that was a fourth down play.
Yeah, that was fourth down they were going for. And you might as well, in that situation, when you're that close to the field goal, you don't have a kicker,
When you don't have the kicker, it's always 4-down territory, and when it's already a 3-possession game, it's something you really have to go with, because the field goals are not going to keep you close in this one with how this North offense is going tonight. Payne getting those last-second instructions, and he heads out to the huddle. 1st and 10 for the Panthers at their own 21. This might be the furthest they've been pushed back to start a drive.
Yeah, I think so. But that normally doesn't faze them. Normally they can run up pretty quick.
As Payne on the quarterback keeper up the middle, and he breaks through into the second level. He's into the offensive territory, trying to pick up a block, dances around one man. Now again, bounces inside, and he's going to go down at about the 12-yard line. A nice long run there for Cairo Payne.
Yeah, Neslage was holding his block. He just kind of got in the way of Payne a little bit. That slowed him down.
That was about a, 68
Yeah,
yard
great
run
run.
or something close to that for Payne. 1st and 10, ball on the 11. They hand it off to Hartrip, running onto the right side, goes inside. Flay comes flying in. Hartrip is in the end zone for what it's worth, but it looks like it might be coming back. And a holding, he will come back. 1st and long from most likely outside the 20.
Yeah, tough break for North on that one.
We'll see where they actually spot it. Actually, that was downfield, so it's just going to be about a 1st and 14 as they place it on the 15. So it's 10 yards from the spot. Seven minutes left here in the first half. Hartrip in motion. They fake the handoff. Payne looks to the air, throws it to the end zone. He's got his man. It is caught. Is he in the end zone? He is. Touchdown.
Tim Neslage.
First passing touchdown there from, 15 yards out?
Yeah, and that's kind of how Cairo likes to do it. Just float it up there. Make sure he gets it up. He's had a couple of those plays going towards the far pylon this year. One with Tyler Oaks and one with Neslage now, and then one with Newcomb in the Zumwalt West game.
I believe another flag comes in. This will be offsides on East. Interesting. I won't think with the score being the way it is that you'd go for 2 at this point.
No, I
And
wouldn't.
they actually just decline it, so they're just going to kick it from its regular spot and make this the 20-yard PAT attempt. Ball is down. Sears' kick is up and good. It's 36-12. Panthers with the lead. .649 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of been East gets stopped. They've had a couple of big plays, but North just keeping their offense rolling.
And it's the first time I've seen North this year, obviously, is you and Michael have been on the call for majority of those games, and it's not an easy offense to stop. They just got so many playmakers.
Yeah, and that's their bread and butter. Because I mean, the option from the spread option is relatively easy to stop if you don't have multiple playmakers, but North certainly does, and that's really what keeps them going throughout the whole game. I mean, you don't know who to cover. You don't know if it's going to be Hartrip, Oaks, sometimes Neslage.
Payne keeping it whenever he wants. This run back will get stopped at the 20. And not that they just have speed. All those guys we named can just break away at any second and take it for 80 yards.
And they've done it a couple times, too.
So the Lions will take over, 1st and 10, deep in their own territories. It looks like they will place it down at the 19. And that is where this drive will get started with 6:44 remaining here in the second quarter. I'm James O'Sullivan alongside Tom Hartbeck and Gavin Anderson on our camera this evening. Here on the Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast.com. As they hand this one off to Johnston, goes for about 3 and gets pushed back.
And the defense really is looking to try and get a sack, but I don't think East is really going to pass much at all tonight.
They do not throw it a whole lot. I mean, Lindemann was 29 of 101 coming into this game with 367 in the air.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we have a player down on the play. We'll take a quick 30-second break and come back on Prepcast.com.
Dahlia Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4.
Man, it's just
As
been
there's a Lions player still down on the field, 6:20 left here in the first quarter.
can't quite make out who the number is.
Looks like is that 6? 4? As that is
No, that's 6. That's Johnston.
Yes, it is. As he gets up and looks like he was jogging off there for a moment, so hopefully we see him back in the game, as he has had a nice first half for the Lions. He will be replaced for at least this one play, as they will toss it deep, and it goes for a loss and bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, it was Monning in on the tackle. Looked like he was going in for the sack and then did a little shimmy move to the outside, squared up his man, and got the hit in.
Third and long. It looks like they say he lost about 3 or 4 on that one, as it will bring up a 3rd and 11. .13 on the play clock. Offensive line now getting down in their set. And it is handed off. Running here to the near side, trying to get to the edge, and picks up a couple. That was Johnson on that carry. Bring up 4th and 7. Closing in on 5 minutes here. Looks like the punt team will come out for the Lions. It looks like Hartrip back deep to return. See if he can get a chance on this one. Man comes in motion, and it will be punted away, angled towards the sideline, and it bounces out of bounds. Actually might have stayed in. We'll see where they spot this. I think it might have went out around the 45, but there's one official up near the 35. But there was no whistle actually blown, and it was touched down inside North territory at about the 39. But it looks like they will mark it at the 46 of the Lions, so just inside the offensive territory.
And another short field.
Although we saw long field last time, starting at their own 21, and one play later they're at the 11.
Mm-hmm.
As they are lined up right in front of us. Newcomb here at the bottom of your screen. 2 receivers each side. Hartrip comes in motion. Payne running it this way. Looks like he wanted to flick it up to Hartrip, but maybe miscommunication. He just had to keep it and goes down for the sack.
Haven't seen Cairo Payne sacked much at all this year. I think that might be the first one. First or second.
Definitely was looking for that lateral going forward there, but nobody was there besides his lineman. Couldn't flip it to them. So 2nd and 15. Clock running under 4 minutes. Hartrip in motion. They hand this one off to Monning, and he breaks away. He's got a first down, breaks it up towards the middle. He's going to keep going and go down inside the 15. But there is
Laundry.
glad you saw it. I hope I
Yeah.
see it now. It's kind of out near the 20-32. So downfield at the 35 is where they'll walk it back from. So they still actually might pick up a couple yards on this play.
Yeah, they might. I mean,
Should be 10 yards from the spot, so it will be placed at the 45. So they could still pick up about 5 yards on a holding play. As they will come place it down on this near hash mark. And it'll bring up 2nd and 8. Offense looking over towards the sideline, getting the play call. Monning again in the backfield. He's had most of the plays from the backfield today. Looking to block. Is Payne going to the air? He's got Oaks. First down. Can he get in the end zone? He will. Oaks, touchdown, his third of the night.
yeah, touchdown Tyler Oaks. What more can you say? Kind of catchy, too. And that one goes, I think that might be the longest pass play touchdown they've had all year.
As 45 yards on that one, puts it at 42-12, awaiting the point after attempt. Sears back in there to punt. Did not see him, or the kick. We did not see him in the first quarter, but he has had these second quarter opportunities. And he has put it in again, 3 for 3 for Sears on the PAT, 43-12 with 3:08 remaining.
Just one of those games, isn't it? You know, it's just been back, forth of here's the ball, you score, here's the ball, you stop, except for a couple of breaks.
They are 6 of 7 on their drives for touchdowns. Is on their, about their third drive? I think they punted, but so the first 2 scored, punted on the third, and now the last 4 they have cashed it in, and they have been long. 1 of 43, a 35, 13, 15, and right now another 45. So it is a couple shorts, couple longs for those touchdown plays.
Yeah, that's kind of their bread and butter. They just run down the field, use their athletes. That's what they've been doing. And I was talking to Coach Bacon. He said right now it's just kind of the warm-up of the postseason. We're going to execute as best we can, not worry about really what the score is, and keep rolling and be set for that 10th game.
That's the one thing about high school. Regular season doesn't mean anything in the high school game because everybody makes the postseason. That's going to bounce. It almost goes over the head of the return man and just scampers up that far sideline for about 10 yards.
Yeah, it's a low line drive kick there by Stainer. Or, not Stainer. What am I thinking?
Sears.
Yeah, Sears.
Be 1st and 10. Looks like they have it placed at about the 15 or so. Maybe inside the 15. Ball yet to be actually placed down, as the officials will actually have a conversation real quick. Actually might have just been handing the ball off and getting a different one.
Now they finally get set.
So long as it's taken these officials to get the ball set, it is flipped out. I believe that's Johnston, and gets a couple yards. Wait until he gets up to make sure. It is. Good to see him back out there as he was slow to get up a couple drives ago.
Johnston with the carry. 2 yards on the play, second down.
Clock running at 2:40. Only one timeout has been called in this first half, but don't really seem to think we'll get those called here in the last 2.5.
No, I don't think so either.
I think these teams might just want to get inside, get a little bit of warmth, and come back out here. Getting close to the running clock area of the 35 points. As Linneman kept it on that one. Looked like he wanted to pick it out, just didn't, kind of ran out of time. Goes down, and it'll be 3rd and long. Is that a late flag coming in?
Maybe.
It is.
Unsportsmanlike East.
Will not speculate on what that might be, but that will push them back and create a 3rd and longer. It was going to be 3rd and 8 to begin with. That was only going to be half the distance to the goal.
10 yards, third down.
As it is, maybe at the 10 or so, and need to get out to about the 25 or so. So we'll call it 3rd and 15 or...
Yeah, about 3rd and 15.
They put 16 on the board. Linneman looks to keep it again, and he goes down. I think might have went down in the backfield. 4th and long. Now coming up for the Lions.
And again, another basically 3 and out. You know, you don't do much. I don't even think East has been in North Territory except for their 2 scoring plays. You know, because they've had I think maybe 3 plays in North Territory because the 2 were quick strike touchdowns, and then the other one was stopped by Hartrip from behind, and then they got it in on the next play.
Yeah, so maybe 1 or 2 plays actually in the offensive territory as they will look to punt this one, and that might have been blocked. Did it go out? Oh, it was covered for a touchdown.
That's the second time it's happened this year. Wow.
Did not see who recovered or who blocked it, but a North punt block touchdown.
Yeah, it was a bunch of white jerseys. That's all I got to say. Woo.
Got a 1:09 left here in the first half. This does put to that 35-point threshold that you will get the running clock in the second half. Not a complete running clock, because in the third quarter it will stop for timeouts, scores, and things like that, flags. But in the fourth quarter, it is a full running clock where it will only stop for timeouts, and that might actually be it.
Yeah. And
maybe one other thing, but it
I think it stops for timeouts and first downs. Yeah.
Maybe a flag. Maybe they'll stop it for a flag to actually call. I know it's been explained to me by other partners that he has explained on the air, and this is just kind of going right over my head every time I need to explain it myself.
Yeah, it does, because every time I look at it, I say, oh, running clock, and it just tends to run, you know.
I know the third quarter does definitely stop on flags and scoring plays, along with the timeouts, obviously. That's going to stop every time because you want it to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have 69 seconds left here in the first half. And I believe maybe a little bit of a longer halftime. I did see the band. It looks like they were bringing things out onto the track, so we might have their visual of their performance. As Sears will kick this one shorter as it bounces and goes into lap at the 10-yard line of the Lion return man. As these uniforms look cool with those gold numbers on the black, but not the easiest to see at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh yeah, and not easy to see when you're looking at it in the glare.
As we are keeping the windows closed here, trying to keep us as warm as possible on this chilly night. We thank you for joining us, even if you're joining us out in the bleachers, which has been bound to happen.
Yeah, it has. A lot of parents have been doing it. We've had tune-ins from Texas. Bleachers streams the game. So thank you to everybody who is involved with North football who is not at the game watching. And sometimes I'll be able to see a parent or two in the stands watching our call.
As a timeout called there by the Lions before this first play of the drive. That's never something a coach wants to see, is starting a possession, you have to waste a timeout.
Yeah. 50-12 in the first half. I would expect to see the second team in starting at halftime.
I mean, you've seen this team almost every week. What are they putting up in the first half?
Well, a lot of times they won't put the starters out in the second half if they have this lead. They did that with South. They did not do that, however, with Parkway Central. And they didn't do that either with – no, now it escapes me if I got to look at the schedules. But it's just kind of been a weird thing. The scrubs have really only gotten in at the end of the game.
It's thrown towards the sideline, almost picked off, but it falls to the ground incomplete.
Yeah, because in the Liberty game, I mean, the starters kind of stayed in for the majority of the game, even though it was 42-7. Parkway Central, they stayed in almost till the fourth quarter, and then only really in the Zumwalt South game has the second string gotten a whole lot of playing time, other than maybe in the fourth quarter or something like that.
But what is the points for a half? What have they put up in the first half before? Is 50 the most?
Yeah, 50 is the most because it was 63-0, and I know they scored 3 times in the second half against South. And then before that, you're not even to 50, so other than the Washington game. But the Washington game was close in the first quarter, and then they kind of ran away with it.
As obviously you watch every week, you guys know what they do. 47 points per game. Inside the conference, they are putting up 53.5 points a game.
Yeah, the GAC Central this year, it's pretty much all Zumwalt North. Has been really for the past 5-6 years. Now they are 5-time district and conference champions in a row. Looking to make it 6.
Well on their way with what we're seeing here in the first half, or at least what I'm seeing here in the first half, is there was a flag call, so that put them in second and long. That play puts them back to about the 10 yards to gain here, maybe 11 on this third down play. 40 seconds left here in the first half. $20 on the play clock, 30 on the game clock, so besides for an incompletion or a penalty flag, this will be the final play of the first half. And they will hand it off, running it up the middle, getting a couple yards, but it will be 4th and long. And no reason to snap it again. Clock running under 10 seconds. It looks like that will do it here in the first half. There is the buzzer, and it is a 50-12 Panther lead here on the Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast.com.
50-12 is an understatement, kind of. Hasn't really been close at all. Those 12 points just kind of came by breaks, wouldn't you say, really?
And it has been a lot of long scoring plays. We'll take a break, but we'll give you kind of the scoring summary after this.
Looking to get that extra 10%? Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Vandalia Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542-4.
Our next senior is Andrew Brophy. Andrew is the son of Kevin and Julia Brophy. Andrew has been running cross country for 3 years and is also involved in track and field. After graduation, Andrew plans on attending the zoo and double majoring in economics and statistics. Senior Andrew Brophy. Our next senior is Sam Nalfo. Sam is the son of Meredith and Phil Nalfo. Sam has been on the cross-country team for 4 years and is also involved in track and field, PPI, Leader in Me, and Hype Squad. After graduation, Sam will attend St. Charles Community College for 2 years with his A+ award. Senior Sam Nalfo. Our next senior is Jack Lorero. Jack is the son of Ann and Peter Lorero. Jack has been on cross-country for 4 years and has also been involved in PPI and baseball. After graduation, Jack will attend Missouri State. Jack's favorite cross-country memory was finishing tough races with my teammates at Ellsbury. Senior Jack Lorero. And our final boys cross-country senior is Sam Myers. Sam is the son of Kristen and Paul Myers. Sam has been on the cross-country team for 4 years and is also involved in track and field, NHS, PPI, and is president of the senior class. After graduation, Sam has not attended what college he will attend. Sam's favorite cross-country memory was falling asleep in the wrestling room on 3 meet days. Give it up for senior Sam Myers, and how about one big round of applause for all of our men's cross-country seniors. Gentlemen, now entering the field, here comes your varsity cheerleaders.
and did not have the sound. As you can see, the players coming back on the field as we are about 3 minutes away. We'll have you look at the conversation between Tom and Coach Bacon.
Panther broadcasting powered by Prepcast. Past Washington, and now we're headed into Fort Zumwalt East. Tom Hartbeck sitting down with Coach Joe Bacon. Coach, kind of rolling along. How do you go from week to week and make the kids buy into, okay, we got to forget about it and just keep moving on?
Well, it's hard.
Yeah.
You start getting success, and it makes it more exciting to kind of practice, but also you can get a little bit complacent. So every year that we've been successful, we've kind of had to fight that. And we had some extra stuff after practice yesterday, I think helped get their attention focused back to where it should be. So for the most part, they've done a pretty good job themselves of keeping us on point.
You guys are starting to have some large margins of victory. It doesn't really matter, but how do you keep it in their heads of, hey, doesn't matter what the score is, keep playing?
Well, our goal, right, it's not about what's on the scoreboard. It's about playing as close to perfect as possible. And if we want to be great, it's not, hey, we play well when we're winning, or when we're behind we have to catch up. Like, it's about doing things the best way possible all the time, regardless of the score or record or any of those things. And so you got to fight against that, because naturally you kind of want to coast a little bit when it seems like you have an easier patch. But we've done a pretty good job, I think, so far of staying focused.
I've noticed in front of the locker room door there's a whiteboard that kind of has some key points for the next opponent. When do those change, and what might that say for Zumwalt East?
Well, it changes every week. I update that on Fridays, just kind of the things that we got to focus on that Friday night in the game. And this week it's going to be about trying to pursue being a great football team. And again, not just for a quarter or a half or some plays, but like across the board, all three phases of the game, being that team that we feel like we're capable of being.
You said before you can't play the same you did in week 1, week 4 than we are at the end of the season. We're getting to the end of the regular season now. Are you starting to see it change a bit?
We're getting better. We're a little bit more focused. We're a little bit more on top of our assignments. But yeah, the race is on, and we talked about that yesterday. It's like, no matter how long our season is, the end's going to get here way too soon. And if we wait to try to become great till after week 10, there's a good chance it'll probably be too late. So we got to make sure we're making good progress on that now.
And last thing, the last 2 games in your guys' schedule is Timberland and then House Central. Those are obviously Class 6 teams. They're going to be big. They're going to be up against pretty good competition in Class 6. Do you like how that bodes for you guys heading into postseason?
Yeah, it's definitely good to get pushed during the regular season. And Timberland, they beat us last year, and we beat East, but it was a struggle last year. So those are 2 teams that we were probably favored to beat last year, but one we barely did and one we didn't even beat. So they should push us pretty well, and that's good for us, because if you don't play hard teams until you get to the playoffs, and that's the first time you're experiencing, maybe you're able to play well enough against it, but it sure helps to have experience with that before you get there. Well,
we're headed into Zumwalt East and into the home stretch. So keep it right here. Panther Broadcasting powered by Prepcast. We'll see you next week. Panther Broadcasting powered by Prepcast.
And welcome back to Panther Broadcasting here on Prepcast.com. That was Tom Hartbeck's conversation with Coach Bacon midweek, as we are moments away here from the start of the second half, as the Panthers have a 50-12 lead. Here as we ready to kick off the second half, I'm James O'Sullivan alongside Tom Hartbeck, Gavin Anderson on the camera for us this evening.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if you saw the second string come out, and Chris Futrell heading out for the kickoff. But as I said, I would not be surprised if we saw that Cairo Payne's night is done. Same thing with Tyler Oakes, Hartrip, Neslage. Maybe he'll play, but you'll see a lot more looking up and down the roster.
That's when I will be asking for your help.
Yeah, that's
as Tommy Davila looks like he will be kicking off. So you saw Sears in the second quarter, and that was it. So far tonight, at least. Maybe it comes back at other points in this half. as Oaks has 3 scores this evening: a 9-yard run, 43-yard run, and a 45-yard pass catch. There's Zumwalt North also has a punt block for a touchdown. That was their last touchdown of the first half, coming in the final minute.
Yeah, Nestlage has a touchdown. Oaks.
Has the 3, Hartrip has 1, Payne has 1.
Yeah.
We'll go through that scoring summary at some point for you. That was a nice deep kick. And he'll be returned to about the 23-yard line. That's where the Lions will start the second half.
25-yard line, where they will start 1st and 10.
Yeah, we'll see let's see who goes out. Hartrip's out there. Futrell's out there. Dickerson. Well, Payne's out there on defense.
Maybe get them a couple more possessions, maybe 1 or 2 possessions here in the second half and call it, or maybe they get this whole third quarter.
Yeah, that would be surprising, honestly.
As it is handed off to the up back and kind of spins past one man, gets about 5 yards. Good play there, as that is still Johnson there on that carry. And we are in the running clock territory, so these 24 game minutes will be about a half hour.
Yeah, I'll take it.
You never realize how much the clock stops in football and how long some halves can go until you get a running clock, and the 12 minutes take 12 minutes.
Absolutely.
As handed off to the deep back here, I believe that's still Johnston. Did not go anywhere on that play. Got maybe a yard as he fell forward. Bring up 3rd down. 3rd and 4. As the Lions look over to the sideline. Panther cheerleaders still in it, as we can hear them through the windows. Not sure if you can pick up any of that or not. Looking to throw is Linneman, and just over the outstretched arm of, I believe, Collins, his intended receiver.
Yeah. Jelani Collins, 5'11", but it's a tall 5'11".
There are quite a bit of these guys at the 5'10", 5'11", and juniors on this roster. It feels like just quickly looking down. It is 4th down. And with the score what it is, it looks like they will just go for it. Nope. Goes back for a quick punt off the side of his foot and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And that's where the Panthers will take over. We'll see who goes out for the offense. Actually, you can see Nestlage out there, and Payne is going out there now, so he will stay under center, or behind center, I guess you can say, is always in the shotgun.
Wow, Payne's still out there, and it's the first-team offense.
As Futrell is in the backfield for the first time this evening. If it was injury-related that kept him out of the first half, good to see that he was able to get good enough to give it a go, at least here in the start of the second half. Oaks coming in motion. Payne will roll out. He's going to keep it on this one, go upfield, gets the first down, and after about a gain of 13, goes down. And they will give him 15 on that one.
Yeah, nice run there by Cairo. He probably knows this is probably going to be his last drive. And if it's not, I don't know what Coach Bacon is wanting to prove by keeping him in there. It's 50-12.
I mean, you've had kind of more conversations with him than I have, obviously. That
Yeah.
he probably did have the conversation with these starters in the locker room on what the plan was here in the second half. Oaks shortly in motion for Trell, getting the handoff for the first time, goes forward up the middle, gets about 6, maybe 7.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the second string come in. Jack Newcomb has shown some promise at quarterback, who is likely the quarterback in waiting, but they have several guys, they say, who can be quarterback.
Petrell still in the backfield. 2nd and 3 for the Panthers. Look into the air. We'll throw it out to the flat. Nestler has it. Spins around. Actually, it's
Hartrip.
Hartrip, yeah. Why don't you say Hartbeck? How many times have you actually said that in this one?
I
During
have
the season,
not.
you have now. You see the heart and you don't even think about your own name there?
Yeah, I know. It's tough, but no, I have actually not said it yet, but
Now you will.
yeah, now I will. Thanks. Oh, come on. That's
You'll see me in a message next week. Thanks. Now you put it in my head and I said it.
Oh man, that'd be funny if I did do it.
Well, I mean, Michael said he'd be listening. Maybe he's going to start saying it next week.
Oh, that'd be great too. Well, if he's there,
As they hand off to Hartrip there, a flag comes in. He is in the end zone. I think that's the second time he's gotten into the end zone. It's going to get called back.
yeah. A lot of times the holding for this team occurs when they do those pitch plays, or it's a keep or a sweep, something like that.
6:09, clock stopped as it does stop on penalties here in at least the third quarter. As they will walk off this hold. Was 1st and goal at the 4. They're going to be 10 yards from the spot. And they put it back to the 15. So 1st and goal at the 15 for the Panthers. Payne with Futrell in the backfield. Hartrop in motion. He will get the handoff. Going up the middle. Tries to get through a couple guys, but will go down at about the 6.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those halves, I think, where Coach Bacon's going to run as much as he can and maybe even try to get to 3rd down, to run the clock down. Because he told me on one of the Wednesdays that we talked, when it gets up to that high, we really try to work on executing and not really worrying about the outcome of a play, but how well it's ran.
As I think that was a fake handoff there, as it was in the midsection of Futrell for a while, but Payne does pull it back and keeps it. And it'll be 3rd and goal at the 5, already under 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. It might be a 4-possession combined second half.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
And maybe 5 is possibly the last play of the drive here for the Panthers, as you have to get in the end zone here, otherwise you're probably just going to go for the short field goal. Hartrop in motion. They hand off to him, going all the way to the far side, trying to get to the pylon. Turns it upfield. Is he in? He is. Touchdown. Hartrop in there for the second time tonight. This one from 5 yards out.
Yeah, Isaiah likes to go outside, as Payne likes to cut in. It's kind of how you have to prepare for him. I mean, that's the thing with this North team. I mean, I think in Class 5, no one is like them because they're so multifaceted. Payne, Hartrip, Oaks, Jack Newcomb has had some flares on offense. Same thing with Tim Neslage. But really, those guys kick up and good. Accompanied with, guys like Parker Monting and Chris Futrell, makes them really hard to stop, honestly. And I don't know how a team's going to do it. You're just going to have to do it with basically having better athletes or being gigantic. And I don't think there really is a huge team in Class 5.
I'm not sure if a team could have better athletes than what I'm seeing North throw out there right now.
Yeah.
And if there is, I want to see that football game. as the clock is stopped at the moment for 3:25 left in the third quarter. Most of the crowd is stuck around in this one.
Yeah, the North faithful have stuck, and then the East over on the far side of the field have kind of filtered back closer to the building, maybe where they can break the wind. It is kind of different, though, here that the press box on the away side.
And good kick here by Davila. That one was defielded inside the 5, bringing it up the middle on that far hash, out to about the 25. As that was Collins on that return. Under 3 minutes left here in the third quarter.
Jack Newcomb's getting ready to come in. He's playing catch with that Nestle guy.
Yeah, I would think Newcomb is going to come in at quarterback.
Is he going to college for track, you said they offered, or for football?
As that is pitched to the outside. And running himself out of bounds is Johnston.
Johnston with the carry. Close to 5 yards on the play. Second down.
Got about 5 on that, so bring up second and medium.
And now, with the score like this, it's just, the focus is just not get anybody hurt, you know.
That's when you get scores up in this area. The teams will really try and get to that 35 just because you can get out of there soon, especially earlier in the season, as that is run up the middle by Johnson, close to a first down. But early in the season, you want to get, if it's 30, you might as well just get to that 35 and get out of there and save the bodies there. And I mean, this late in the season, you're getting closer and closer to that district play. Last thing you want is somebody to go down injured, period. Obviously, you never want somebody to go down injured, but especially in a game like this, trying to sneak it up the middle. They did give him the first down on that previous play. So up the middle and picking about 4 or maybe 5 on that. That was kind of a play of a third and short to get the first down. There's kind of a QB keeper up the middle. Linneman keeps that one again. And a good gain of 4 yards. 2nd and 6. Under 1 minute left. As it is the Lions' second possession of the third quarter. Panthers have had 1. They scored on that one. And there's been 1 possession they have not scored on that. Ended up in a punt. And they will flick it out to Johnson, trying to get to the edge onto the outside, now bringing it back into the middle, and he's going to go down for a loss of 3. And the ball comes loose, picked up. Have they marked it down? I don't see a ref signaling anything, but no ref is running either. So I think they did mark him down. I didn't see any arms go up on dead ball or anything, but normally a ref would run back with them and signal touchdown at the goal line.
Yeah, normally.
So he was down.
And that was Chris Futrell who did it too, and he's done that. I believe he did it back in the South game.
As there is the horn for the end of the third quarter. Tom will tell you about the fourth when we get back on Prepcast.com.
Looking to get that extra 10%. Reach the next level with Athletic Republic. Athletic Republic is science-based performance sports training, delivering intense, position-specific, one-on-one training. Stop working out and start training. Visit your local Athletic Republic training center today. Athletic Republic, where athletes who give 110% get the extra 10%.
Vandalia Bus Lines has been serving the St. Louis metropolitan area since 1932, and they take pride in their well-maintained fleet of clean, comfortable, European-style motor coaches and vans. Whether you're interested in a tour of the beautiful and historic St. Louis area or a charter trip to the lower 48 continental United States or parts of Canada, it's Vandalia Bus Lines, the largest fleet in the St. Louis area. Call them at 800-542.
Welcome back for the fourth quarter here at Fort Zumwalt East. Again, my name's Tom Hartbeck. I'm alongside James O'Sullivan, and Gavin Anderson is on the camera tonight. Best wishes back to Mike Wagenknecht, who will be in the hospital tonight. Never like to hear that, but speedy recovery for him. Hopefully we'll see him back next week at the game that we've kind of all been anticipating, Timberland.
Always a powerhouse.
Yeah. And this is a halfback pass. They get it off. Caught by the quarterback with room. Rezix can't make the tackle, and running him down is Chris Futrell.
Well, Futrell's got a lot of energy as he's still on the sidelines for that first half, so his legs are fresh, able to run him down. Second time we've seen that halfback pass from the Lions. This time it works, and obviously Lindemann had to wait and catch it, but able to hold up, catch it, and a nice long run. Good play there by the Lions as we start the fourth quarter.
And still, even the touchdown here will not get you to stop the running clock. Gets you down to 38 points. Lindemann with the option play in the backfield. Futrell with a nice tackle.
Yeah, nobody on him. That he kind of just had Johnson that whole time. He kept an eye on him and went straight to the backfield once he saw him get that football.
Yeah, Futrell has not had a whole lot of playing time tonight. And out will come, looks like Cairo Payne. As the clock continues to run. Let's kind of look ahead as we are in the fourth quarter. After this game, left on the schedule for East, as this is a direct snap. And that goes for almost a first down. But left for East is Liberty and then Warrenton. And then for North, you've got Timberland, then Howell Central. And probably the last place in your district will be Smith Cotton. And then Zumwalt South. And then you've got Battle after that.
A little bit of traveling going to have to be done for district.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Zumwalt North, Francistown North, Smith Cotton, and then Battle, who is about 5-3, as that's a touchdown for Zumwalt East. Ran out by Johnston.
Number 24,
Elijah Johnson. And that gets them to 18 points. Still not enough to cut off the running clock. And they will go for two. Quarterback keeper, here comes the push. Where's the ball at? And they say he's in. They give it to him, so it is 57-20. Yeah, 57-20. Says 19 on the board right now. So 37-point lead. The clock will continue to run. But no reason to think that North can't come back down and score.
And they have done it often.
Mm-hmm.
And done it quickly.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, really since that South game, we've seen how their offense really runs. And the South game, they just didn't let up. Coach Bacon said that was their most complete game all year, but 57-20, 20 points now given up to a team that just barely beat South. I will imagine that Coach Bacon will have a little bit of some comments in his post-game interview. As even the game that comes to mind for me is the Parkway Central game, 42-7. But he said, "Oh, we got to start playing better football."
Yeah, Coke is always go with you got to play the better football no matter what the score ended up being. But we've seen some good things out of this Lions offense. Johnston has had a really nice day coming out of the backfield with running the football. He's got a couple scores in this one. Linneman, Johnston, and now Johnson in the end zone for the Lions. And they kind of are building off that momentum they got off that overtime win last week.
To kick, fielded by Futrell, cuts to the near side, fumble, ball comes out, and will they take it back? No, they will not. But
Close to the horse collar, though, on that tackle.
Yeah, but East now has a shot to stop this running clock.
And if there's kind of one point where this coaching staff would want a stop, I think it would be here. It sets them up first and goal. First turnover we've seen on this one. You don't want points off turnovers are never good. It doesn't really matter what the score is. So maybe see if they can pin their ears back and get a stop here. Maybe force one of their turnovers themselves. I mean, you know the ball's probably going to stay on the ground, so got to wrap up and tackle.
.6:35 to go here in the fourth. 57-20, but East trying to stop this running clock with a touchdown on this drive. Letterman under center, hands off up the middle. They get a push, but not much else than that.
And we've seen a lot of that, the up the middle where they get 2 yards, they try to get the push for the extra yards, and we've seen it a few times where they have been able to get the push. Sometimes even it broke through it all. We've seen Lindemann do that once himself, break through and end up getting a 60-yard run out of it.
Yeah, and East has had their moments. They've actually kind of held their own in this game and applauded to them. Same play. And it's Johnston who gets a few more yards, but not much else.
I believe it was a 10-point game, 22-12 at the end of the first quarter, and then just all north there in the second.
3rd and 3 from the 3 with 5:25 to go. The defense crowds the line. Linebackers are pinched. And that one's going nowhere again.
Yeah, kind of the goal line setup there. You know it's coming, and I mean the defense not far with about 9 guys inside the box. Hard to run on this team anyway, and when they expect that short yardage plays to be called, especially down in the short yardage situation, tough to run on them.
Yeah, they got Johnston and Johnson out in the backfield. And Letterman, the quarterback. No wide receivers. Now they're set up in the Wildcat. Out to the outside. Will they get across the line? Yes, they will. So the clock will stop momentarily until another Zumwalt North score. Then it will tick again.
Yeah, there was Johnston in there from 2 yards out, so his second touchdown of the evening. And we don't have official stats on him, but he has had a real nice game.
Yeah, he has. And East has put up 26 points. You know, so that's no laughing matter. I mean, the closest game that North has had was the West game in the Battle for O'Fallon, but now East is holding their own as they will go for 2 and be unsuccessful.
57-26 with 4:29 left here in the fourth quarter.
So I would assume Cairo Payne may come out for this drive again, but he's not in the huddle.
That's also a special teams kickoff here.
Yeah, I know. But sometimes he's on the special teams and he'll be a coverage guy. He's one of the last men back.
I think you still got the big lead, not necessarily a reason to go back to Payne. I mean, all you're going to do probably is run the football down the middle most of the time and just make sure that clock keeps running. I mean, just hold on that football tight and, don't necessarily go down the first contact, but don't necessarily have to fight for those extra yards. You can go down pick up 3 yards every play. There you are. You got a first down, basically.
Yeah, back deep is Rezix, Oaks. Low line drive. Picked up far side. Will they get through? No, they won't. They'll get around the 40.
That was for Trell again as he fumbled on the last kickoff. First turnover we saw in this game. Hangs on to this one, and good starting field position at the 40.
So heading out for quarterback looks to be Jack Newcomb. For Trell heading off as well.
Nope, gonna go back.
Oh, yep. So, timeout. At least we got a whistle.
I think they might need
Sub.
maybe a helmet situation there.
Yeah, something wrong with equipment, so quick substitution. 4:24, 1st and 10 from the 40. Jack Newcomb in at quarterback. Chris Futrell is the running back beside him. Snap, handoff to Futrell up the middle and rumbles forward to about 5.
Actually, Newcomb kept that one
Oh, yeah, you're right.
on there, and looks like they're going to give him 4. This is where
Now Futrell's coming out and Monning coming in for running back.
one way to easily run out the clock is, as it's running as it is now, is just take it down to 3 seconds left on the play clock.
Yeah, tick down, because now you're down under 12 seconds. And I think that's what he's going to do. Man in motion,
The flag comes in.
and that was Kylan Watson. But that's a penalty against East. So 2nd and 1.
I think it was kind of that break we took there between the 3rd and 4th quarter, and we talking about it. It's been a very clean football game. Not a whole lot of flags thrown, and that helps with pace, even with the running clock, because the clock would stop in the 3rd quarter. But clock's already running again because they've got the ball ready to go, and we're playing.
Handoff to Futrell up the middle. That's Monning. Monning gets through. Monning dragging some tacklers and gets down to about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, he's had more of an impact on the offensive side, as we've called his name more running the football than we have him getting inside the backfield, and done a nice job running. Probably in the over 50 yards, I would think.
Yeah, and this is really the first game where he has not had a sack, which is good and bad. Coach Bacon was saying to me that they want it to be about the team and not just him, and sometimes a sack ends up hurting them a little bit. But Parker making an impact with the ball, as Newcomb will keep it and take the clock down even farther.
And a good keep there. Looked like he wanted to pitch that one out there for Trell, but there was a defender right there, so kind of fake pitch and kept it, goes up the middle. Nice little gain there for Newcomb.
And Jack has had his moments. He's scored a couple of touchdowns, receiving and as quarterback. Newcomb setting up with Futrell. Man in motion is Watson. To the far side is Newcomb. He has the first down and a little bit more.
Yeah, you can see there, that was completely designed roll out there to the left and just keep it. Did not look downfield whatsoever. Just kind of tucked it the right away and kept it. You just kind of keep it in his hands. Have it stay on the ground. You're going to keep the clock running as much as possible. Here's we're already down in under 2 minutes. Chains have been reset, so the clock ticks again. 20 seconds is on the play clock, but you can tick this down under 10 easily.
135. Man in motion again is Watson. They hand it up to him. He's up into the secondary, and he's in. Touchdown. Kylan Watson.
20 yards out, Watson in there for the score.
63-26.
Watson with a good burst of speed once he got through that first level.
And Kylan is kind of going to be, in my mind, the replacement for Isaiah Hartrip next year, because he's kind of the same kind of player, and he has the same assignments. Snapback, ball down, kick is up, and good. 64-26. Back to a 42-point lead.
I mean, it was a good drive. I mean, the clock stopped on there during that drive, but it just was stayed on the ground. Newcomb with a nice drive there at quarterback and running it himself, handed it off a few times.
Yeah, and that's really what Coach Bacon wants out of a quarterback. He wants to see an arm, but he doesn't need to see an arm. You know, you just got to be able to be accurate. And yeah, if you're not watching the Cardinals game, 1-0 Nationals, top of the 7th, one out there, but Cardinals have no hits. They have only about 3 base runners on all game. 64-26 our score here. Deep kick by Cam Stainer. Will they take this one back? No, they will not. As the clock will continue to run now.
Might see one play here, maybe two.
Yeah, I would think.
Probably only going to need to see one.
Yeah.
We'll see if they might rush and try to get a second one, as we're all under a minute, and with that 40-second play clock.
So at the end of this one, Zumwalt North will go up to continue to be undefeated. With 37 seconds left. 7-0 on the year. They got Timberland next week, then Howell Central. And Zumwalt East, the struggles will continue. They will fall to 1-6. Their only win coming in overtime against Zumwalt South. 15 seconds to go. No reason to run a play on this one. So it's handshakes. And that is it. So the North Panthers will win this one by a final of 64-26. A really uneventful fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was just a great performance by the North Panthers. We said it was a 10-point game at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, all Panthers, and that's where they took this one over.
Yeah, they really did. And you just got to hand it to all the athletes on the Panthers side of things. They took care of business tonight. Defense had their little bit of a hiccup, but the offense made it not in doubt. So final score, Panthers 64, Lions 26. For my partner, James O'Sullivan, my name's Tom Hartbeck. Our cameraman was Gavin Anderson. We will see you next week from Timberland and then Francis House Central to finish off the regular season. And we'll see you next week on Panther Broadcasting, powered by Prepcast. Keep a lookout on Twitter for Coach Bacon's postgame show.